Tony, you're the Managing Director of Kennametal here in the UK. How impressed have you been with the turnout today?
It's absolutely fantastic. It's great to see the customers' full engagement. We appreciate their time, their commitments. Coming out of a factory these days is very important.
And when you look at some of the strategies that have been discussed, for example, dynamic milling, conical barrel milling, all of those things on thin wall structures, aero structures, do you think a lot of these are actually practicing those in the field?
They're starting to. I think everybody now is starting to learn the technology, and it's how you get that technology across. And days like today, where people come to visit the AMRC, which is where our technology takes place, it's great to see people's eyes light up and everything else when they see this technology.
And I think that you're right. It was amazing to see how interested and engaged the audience were, including myself. In fact, I picked up from your presentation, Tony, Kennametal, known for solving the problems of today but preparing for the problems of tomorrow. Based on what we've seen here as an advanced engineering event, what are the problems of tomorrow?
Honestly, we don't know. I mean, to try and find out these problems before they happen, you've got to be one step ahead of where you are today. If you're not 1 or 2 steps ahead of the current technology, you've got to be well in advance. And I say places like the AMRC, fantastic venue, fantastic at what they do. They have the best engineers in the world. And to work with these guys, it just takes us to that next generation and the next generation again of tools.
When it comes to your product range as well, again, it was on one of the presentations, milling, turning, hole making, obviously the tool holders and everything that surrounds that. How vast is it and how big is the Kennametal portfolio these days?
Wow, I think we have something like 80,000 active line items. We've had a different strategy over the last 2 months where we've moved to a catalogue called First Choice. And what we do, we take our top 80% products into a 20% catalogue. But the actual portfolio, it's 80,000 line items plus. And that covers hole making, milling, turning, everything you can think of.
And one of the points I picked up on was this wear-resistant solutions. This is an important part, isn't it, for Kennametal?
Yeah, the cutting tool world these days wants to make their tools last longer, cut faster, last longer.
And how important is the machine tool in that as well? Because here, obviously, we're talking about Starrag machines. That must have a massive impact and a bearing on those results.
It does. It's very important that you understand that one time the Kennametal, we will take a technology to an advancement, which puts the machine tool behind. Then the machine tool will catch up and take it to advancement. So it's a constant cat and mouse game between the machine tool manufacturer and the cutting tool people. And Starrag are one of the best in the business at what they do.
And it must be a challenge for you, Tony, as well, and the guys with boots on the ground at Kennametal, when they go in and see applications that maybe there's issues with surface finishes and tolerances, and people are trying to say it's the cutting tool and it's your tool holder, but actually really the blame probably or could lie in the machine tool, the fact that it might not be up to it, it might not be stable, it might vibrate.
Yeah, the cutting tool manufacturer always gets the blame. That's the initial start, and then when you start to dive into what the problems are, a lot of the time machines can cause the problem. Whether it's misalignment or something isn't correct on the machine.
And I suppose that must be a pleasure to actually work in conjunction with these guys at Starrag, because I imagine that it's very rare that actually happens.
It's fantastic. I mean, we've done 2 or 3 events now with Starrag, and the confidence you get with the machine, it allows you to push the tools to the limit of where they should be cutting.
At the future, Tony, a few years ahead, we've seen how fantastic this place is evolving in conjunction with your collaboration with Starrag. Where do you see the future for cutting tools and tooling? We talk about Industry 4 and those sides of things. Are you heavily involved in that?
These guys in the technology department are always looking for the next generation. They're always looking for Industry 4.
And we're talking here about the aerospace industry. How do you see, Tony, the future in that? Do you see it sort of slowing down at all, or is it just going to keep growing?
No, we see the industry continually growing and getting bigger and more important for the UK as a whole.